So B tier pod, welcome back everybody! Yay! when Brad was here on whatever day it was, Friday last week,
Yeah.
I added a bunch of cheers for when he reintroduced. So right now I am working on getting an editor, which means
An AI editor.
people are gonna be real mad. We're gonna have a lot of episodes, or we're gonna have like a lot of clips
It's gonna clip the wrong
that
stuff.
just like don't make sense. Which granted, they barely do anyway, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's part of the B tier process, right? It's like, yeah, we tell
Maybe
some cool
we
stories.
need to make them not make even more sense to get more views.
Well, it's working, right? Inadvertently. There's an episode. There's like a short that aired that was like something about Jeff talking about the hot chemist from Texas or something like that.
I don't think I remember that one.
I don't remember it either. But the clip didn't really make much sense. Like, it was like, I don't know, Jeff talking about how she got off a bunch of money on it or something. No idea what happened. No idea what it was even talking about in the first place. But I edited it, whatever, put it out, and it got like 30K views or 20K views or something in like 2 days.
We just need to start talking about dumb shit, apparently.
That's what we need to do. It needs to make no sense. It needs to be like out of context stuff. It just needs to be like random.
Do an ecstasy episode. You know?
Yeah, that'd be a ton of fun. But yeah, it would be like there's just like random things that are kind of topical. That's like where we need to be. So right now I'm gonna train that AI to like kind of pick up how I edit and like learn, like, okay, what I'm looking for in a clip or whatever. And I'm just gonna have it like, it's weird, man. Like I'm paying an AI $30 a month to just watch how I edit so that it can learn how I edit.
That's wild.
And then hopefully it can like pick up.
You're signing up for someone to watch you.
Yeah, probably. But like they might be a good editor someday. I don't know. I don't think it takes them that long to learn it. Like,
Are they only watching you edit, or are they watching whatever else you do for $30 a month?
Yeah, right. They're probably watching No.
They might buy you guns. You know?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be kind of dope. Accidentally get guns sent to my house. It'd be sick. Like,
Store calls you. Hey, come pick it up. What?
Yeah. Your AI ordered one of the new Jackals. That'd be sick. I'd be okay with that. I'd be like, how did they order it that fast? So like, I'd be more asking questions
They got
about
the end,
not being mad about it. Yeah. Well, they have like the back end. Like they studied the website enough to back end.
You said it enough. You know?
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be like the next big step for B tier is like getting just like clips kind of automated. We'll see how they are. I don't know. Because I think what they do is, what like the AI does is that they take like the clips that they think would go viral already. So it's like studying YouTube algos to crank out 10-second edits for your podcast so that it can go viral. And that's like what it like trains itself to do.
Would you be mad if this AI makes us go viral? And it wasn't your edit? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think I care.
Well, it is editing like you, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It would know kind of how I would do it. So I'm not really that mad at it. And I think I would still have to give it like a template to work on. And I would still have to give it like some general stuff to kind of find. But once it finds it, and then it can start like picking out like what bigger parts of the episode to clip, like then it does kind of like just know what I'm trying to find.
Right.
And then I just need to like plug and play, and then it just goes for me. So I don't know. Like half of the work is still me, but it's still like AI is still doing like the overall captioning for it.
So you only doing it for B tier? Or you doing it for all your like production work?
I'm gonna give B tier like the production test. Because not that I don't care about this channel that much. I think I'm probably more dedicated to this channel than the others at this point.
Well, we have so much content right now that.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if
let's see the difference.
Yeah, I kind of want to see like how it does on just the talking format, because I think if you gave it like, I don't know, say you put it in like a 2-hour live stream for a game for like gameplay.
Right.
I don't know if it would like figure out like what the exciting moments of gameplay are. I don't know how it like
it just be me yelling.
Yeah, like it could just be you going like, oh, I just got smited, and like everybody got shocked at once or whatever, and then like it might just clip that out, but like that's not like a viral moment per se.
I think I'm gonna make a Super Mario sweatshirt that just says I've been smited on the back.
I hope you do. Yeah. Because we need that for ODG.
I could throw the ODG logo on it.
That'd be pretty sick. Be pretty baller. Or dude, that shirt
I'm already a part of the stream, so it's like
that shirt that you were wearing the other day with like all the Super Mario characters that look like the periodic table or like a character selection stream. Yeah. You need to do that with like all the ODG people or like all of the people in our streams.
That'd be kind of hard to do, but I could do like Mii's or something.
Or, do like AI Mii's
or I could create something, you know.
Yeah,
you give me a little info on them.
Giving
or like what games they play, and I could do something in that.
That'd be sick
realm.
Too. Yeah, that'd be sick too. Not that we have photos for everybody, but yeah, you could do like their favorite character.
Or favorite character or what game they're playing right now. You know, like what are you spending most time playing right now? Marvel Rivals. So pick your favorite Marvel Rival character.
Now I'm thinking about it too. Like you could do like the Marvel Rivals art, like the comic book art.
I could do your just Lord Peppa, like just like your logo. You know, like So I could do gamer tags, like I could do whatever.
There's a lot of cool things, but I was thinking about that character selection. I'm just like, there's so much you could do with that, with like anything.
Yeah.
With B tier, you could do us, like our 3 heads on the main page, and
like then a floating Brad shirt in there, you know.
Yeah, Brad's kind of like opacity 25% off to the left or something. People who like don't edit are gonna be like, what are you even talking? It's fine. Okay. We know what we're talking about. I think that's like a beautiful thing about it. Like I was telling, this is what I am going to miss. If we do get like an AI editor, they only look for viral moments and nothing to do with like our inside jokes or like our funny moments or whatever.
That'd be kind of sad.
Yeah, I don't know how emotionless it's going to be. It might take us to the next like viral moment. It might put B-roll into some of our like talking about sports or something in there, talking about hiking or whatever, fishing, hunting. It might take those moments and make them viral, but it might not include the jokes at the end or like the little jabs or like the little like,
at the same time,
one-off comments.
Is like AI gonna like pick up on that? Like, are they gonna know the difference between a little jab or my sarcasm on the mic? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. We'll
like,
find out.
I'm gonna pick that up.
We'll find
like,
out.
Oh, a different tone here. Like
my assumption. My assumption is that it won't be able to pick the tonal shifts or the tonal changes. So that said, it'll give us like the most viral moments, and it might be able to take from like the whole episode and clip it all together and put it into like a part that maybe because the thing that I do when I edit is like I'll find like a minute. And then I'll chop that down to like 15 seconds it's always under 15 because that's what it is for YouTube. And that's just kind of how you get clicks. It's like really unfortunate because it leaves out a bunch of context, but it's also like, hopefully you go to the main page
to go search a video
to watch the full video to get the context. If you're really that adamant about it, you will. If you leave a comment that doesn't make any sense, then you're probably not going to be one to watch
shooting yourself in the foot.
Hour and a half podcast anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Like I don't really care.
Or if we're talking like outlandish, we're just shooting ourselves in the foot because everyone's just like, oh, why do we want to go listen to the full episode if they're just gonna be like that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and that's the thing. So I think I don't know how the AI is gonna do it, but I'm sure it's gonna find out like, hey, if you put like these certain keywords together and then you shuffle around the words and you can make it make sense, even if it's like from a 10-minute segment on like everything that we just talked about, you might be able to make that happen. I don't know. I just want to make sure it was recording.
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay, good. I was like, oh no, I'm kind of worried now. I don't remember if I clicked record or if I got the ice tray. Like
you clicked it.
Okay, good. Good. But yeah, other than that, man, like it's just kind of interesting. So we'll see if quality significantly goes down after like April 15th ish time. That's where
I'll be watching on 420 and be like, what the f is this?
High as shit. Just like, why?
It's Easter that day.
What is he talking about?
It's going to be a great Easter.
I feel like that happens a lot. I feel like 420 drops on Easter a lot. Like, they just put the mixtape out that day.
Jesus came back that day. I wonder why.
Jesus Rises, the fifth SoundCloud mixtape that he dropped every year.
This one's Walk on Water, you know.
Oh, Walk on Water, dude. Walk on Water Part 3. Part 2 was okay, you know. Like I don't know though.
It's like the Carters, you know.
I think
the
he
Carter
kind of
album.
Yeah, no, I think he kind of
Volume 3.
Yeah, I think he kind of dropped off a little bit after Water the Wine, you know.
Mm.
Like that was definitely
kind of
like
hard to top.
What?
Kind of hard to top.
Well, I mean, yeah, like imagine coming out of the gate with that, and then going to India for like a couple months or whatever, and then coming back, and then just like I couldn't imagine. Like John the Baptist comes in, and
his one-hit wonder, you know.
His feature, yeah, his like he had like 2 feature verses on "Baptized by Blood," you know. Like I thought that was a pretty hard take, but. Yeah, it's just like you can't feature with that guy. You can't.
I like the David and Goliath feature, you know.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. If I could go back and get a Cain and Abel drop, I would. Rip, man. You can't put a price tag on those albums. They'll never come out again, you know?
Burning Bush, my favorite song.
Yeah, Burning Bush, man. You kidding me? Moses comes out, drops an absolute banger, and then disappears.
It separates the Red Sea, yeah.
He drops the 10 Commandments.
And separates the Red Sea,
and then disappears into a chariot. like, could you imagine if we actually just had like a whole, yeah, I don't know.
That's
like
a clip right there.
Episode.
That better be a clip right there.
Yeah, it's AI. Opus, come back for me, bud. All right. Let's go ahead and drink Cobalt, or did you want me to get anything else off of the shelf over here?
Don't matter to me.
Do you want that Larceny?
That's up to you.
Larceny or Cobalt?
Don't matter to me.
50-50 it right now because I don't have a coin.
Let's do this one.
A or B.
This
okay.
One.
Yeah.
It's already here.
That one's on the table. And then we have the B tier whiskey decanter, which we'll add to tonight.
Ooh.
Whatever
we don't drink.
Whatever we don't drink is entire bottle between. You know what, dude? I've done it before for pods. There was an episode, I think me and Jeff will probably like discard it as like greatest history of After Dark show ever. But Dosed After Dark, we did an entire bottle of TX bourbon.
Oh shit.
Yeah, just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
It was a handle.
Oh no.
We both blacked out.
Maybe that's why you guys got canceled. Or flagged.
We don't watch that episode again.
We don't watch it. We don't talk about it.
We talk about it, but we definitely never watched it. We never remembered what we said. So it could have been anything.
I'm going to go search it.
Could have been anything. I think we started talking about the roads about 2 hours in. And like, I don't know if any like political kid or boy or man wouldn't understand. If you start talking about the roads, you're really pissed.
Especially around here.
Oh my god, dude! I could go off for 3 hours about it. I think I did once. You know,
I think I've done it a couple times.
Yeah,
my state's even worse than yours.
Yeah, so that's how you know. That's how you know you're drunk when you're like yapping about.
Fuck these roads.
You're like, dude, Highway 35. I hate that, man. Like in the winter, they don't even salt it out there. You know, that's when you know you like reached a limit.
That's the difference between your state and mine. Yours are all like highways. Mine are all like county roads.
Yeah. County Road B and the County Road A. Yeah. I don't want that either. Like, I'm just driving a straight line until it hits a T-bone.
I'd rather have the highway. I know the plows are at least out. At least partly.
Yeah. You know, something though, I wish more people from the city would like come in and drive the country roads out here. I feel like it would give them like a lot of perspective.
I wish the people down south would come up here and drive this.
Dude, they got alligators like frozen in lakes down there right now. It's middle of winter. Like, I don't know.
At 40 degrees, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. But they can't handle it. They don't have salt trucks.
And I saw a video actually talking about gators, how they just like sleep with their like snout hanging out. And I saw this dude like go in the water because he saw the snout hanging out and literally like lift up the alligator. And the alligator's just still sleeping, just in his hand, like. I'm just like, you got some balls. Like, if that thing woke up, your hand's gone. I'm like,
yeah, it turns into like a Happy Gilmore situation. Got to golf with one hand, dude.
Chuck, I got you something.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, they like can't. I saw another video where they were driving down like one of the back roads in Florida, and like they're all iced up or whatever right now, but they were literally throwing salt off the back. Like there's like two guys with like cups, they're just chucking salt off the back.
We
of
do
a,
that up
of a
here.
guy's
I'm gonna need a
pickup.
lot of salt.
Well, I just imagine because they don't know how to handle it down there, they probably just have table salt and they're probably just launching it off the back. It's like salting the snail. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine.
Well,
Can't imagine.
yeah.
Wouldn't be me. It would not be me.
Or how many of them deal with frozen pipes?
Yeah.
Their houses aren't built the same as up here. You know, we get
None at all.
we get the drastic of both. We get the hot of the summer and the cold of the winter.
Yeah. No, we have like the worst of
the
both worlds
worst.
because we get like when people forget. Even if we're up in Wisconsin, everybody's like, "Oh, you guys gotta have mild summers up there." Dude, we have swamp weather up here. Like we have 100-degree,
110.
110%
Humidity.
humidity with like 110-degree heat, and then we get a thing called black mold up here, which I'm sure you'd have in Florida if you didn't have air conditioning. But yeah, it's like
Or after a hurricane, maybe. Like
something like that. But yeah, so they're actually experiencing the worst of both worlds. Usually we only get that. So I don't know. They can have
Welcome
a little
to
bit
our
of
world.
yeah, they can have a little bit of our medicine. Only problem is like
Well,
they don't have the infrastructure to
they
stop
gave us
it. Like
they
you
gave us
said.
their winter last year. You know, we just swapped.
Yeah.
We got the warm winter last year. You know.
What was it? I think it was Texas, but they like had straight like ice all the way down in like Austin and Dallas and Houston. It's
And
a place that just don't have
everything
it.
shuts down.
Yeah,
down there,
They
you
need
know?
to do that though. Dude.
Everything shuts down.
Like you just said, they don't have like the infrastructure for it.
But it's just
all their
like,
pipes are freezing.
how
they
many
don't
of
have
them
water
moved down there from up north? Like
to get away from that?
exactly.
Yeah,
You should know what to do.
maybe.
Like,
Dude, I think it was JR a while back. He was telling me one of his buddies went down there during one of the last like ice storms, and literally were just taxiing people, like Uber driving.
yeah, because he knows how to drive. Yeah.
Made like 45K in like 2 weeks, and then came back up here.
So what you're saying is during the ice storms, we need to fly down there and drive around.
I'm almost, dude. That's a quick payday. That's a
Let me
real
rent a
quick
car
payday.
real quick.
And you don't even have to put miles on your own car.
Nope.
And it's easy to drive. Like I know everybody like okay.
I mean,
it's probably
yes
not
and no,
super
but
easy,
like
but it's easier
if
than
you're
what
if you're experienced to it,
Yeah.
like it's not that bad.
it's easier than what they know. Like, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah, you can't be doing 80 down the highway, you know. Like
worst storm I've ever driven through. I was driving up to Winona. I was coming back from work at my job down in the trailer court.
gross city, but okay.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
that like 35 River Road.
That's
you know what
horrible.
I'm talking about?
Yes, horrible.
Horrible. 7 cars between
In the ditch.
Dakota and La
and
Crescent.
the black, yeah, like
And
in the ditch, like
absolutely. I mean, I couldn't even like help people because it was so cold, and so I was just driving.
well, you and your little car isn't gonna be able to help anybody out of the ditch anyway.
Yeah, nothing I could do. So I just saw people wilding out, like, you know, you'd see like the tire marks, like 15 turns into the ditch.
I
And
love
yeah,
seeing these people just like fishtail and spin it like in
Dude.
circles, just right around.
I was with my uncle. We were driving back from a Chicago Bulls game. Roads were slick, right? It wasn't like horrible,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they were definitely bad. Some dude, and this was like a back suburb road. This dude was flying 70
Oh,
down it,
mistakes.
swerves in front of us, passes, whips, like tail whips, does a full 180 looking at our car, and then does almost another 180, fishtails it. My uncle, he was driving, he swerves into the left lane. This dude swerves right into a snowbank and just pile drives through it.
Damn.
You know, like one, like this guy's like half up in the air, like over the ice side, like over like the side of the snow pile.
Snowbank, yeah.
And yeah, fair to say that like I think he was fine. Like, you know, like we look back and like he was at least like, you know, like upright and stuff. So he
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
flip, but Yeah, it just like goes. I think people just forget. Like,
Every
I
time,
mean, you can't be
every
going
year,
80.
every year, once
Yeah.
that snow starts flying, everyone forgets how to drive.
Yeah, and I'll cheers to that. Honestly, forgetting how to drive every year. I'm right there with them. I do like the Koval.
Yeah, smooth. I like that.
It's got that like pepper aftertaste. My brother was telling me, and it was funny because he was like, "I don't want this to sway your opinion at all," so I didn't tell you until after you had it. But I texted him the other night, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, like Jeff really liked it. I thought it was all right. Phil said it was all right." You know, and he messages back. He's like, "Yeah, that was like one of the only women-owned businesses local to me that brewed that."
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
I was like, "Yeah, I don't think that would like sway my opinion at all."
I don't know how that would make a difference.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, I'm a very meritocracy based person, so like, you know, merit comes first. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad.
Right.
You don't have to tell me who made it. Like, I don't care.
If it's good, tell me who made it.
Well,
You know,
yeah, I did message him though. I was like, yeah, it's pretty good, and he's like, yeah, this is who made it. You know, and I was like, yeah,
well,
mean,
I made that in prison. You know,
yeah, right. It was potato vodka mixed in with some Koval, I guess. It's like, that's pretty sick. Like, you know, I wish I would have known that before I had it, but it's pretty cool. Like, you know, what do you think? Because we're kind of like now we're kind of like in this topic, and I can't not think about it. What do you think the most American modernized city would be today? Like if somebody from a different country was telling you like, hey, what do you like, you know, what's like the most American modern city that you have? What would you
I'd probably have to say like New York or LA.
Okay.
Like the big cities. New York, LA, Boston.
Boston's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
no one's just gonna be like
Yeah.
Minneapolis, St. Paul, you know, like no, like
Madison,
like
Wisconsin.
right, like
No, it's funny that you mentioned that because nobody would say those names.
no, not at all.
Why is that? There's got to be a reason. There's got to be a psychological.
I want to see
reason.
I want to say it's like the big market stuff.
Big market
like,
stuff.
Yeah, like how they can sell the most like product. Because New York is a tourist city.
Yeah.
Boston's a tourist city. LA's a tourist city.
Okay.
No one's coming to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Like,
No, not at all.
unless you're from Minnesota or like surrounding areas and you want to go check out maybe the Mall of America.
Yeah.
But
Do you
that's
think-
probably the biggest attraction in
Do you think
Minnesota.
a part of that is because it's like half modern, half not? Like, because I don't know, like when you drive these county roads, you
Mhm.
can really tell. And even here, there's
but are
like
scenic?
there's
like-
very dated buildings though. Like almost like, do you say too dated, or do you say that adds like flavor to the town?
I
And
feel
that's,
like that
kinda-
adds flavor and like character to the town.
You're with me on this side of the argument.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cause like I love going to like old towns and just seeing like the old brick buildings or the old cement buildings or
Yeah.
even like the like ghost towns or whatever where they were like wood shacks and brick buildings. I love going
That's
to check
cool.
those out. And like all the scenic like all of our scenery around here is just beautiful no matter what time of year it is. We just live in like a prime location for like
Yeah.
sites or like just like nature
It's
and
a hidden gem.
yes. But like I feel like that also adds like something to like those little towns or the state like
Yeah. Well,
cuz like I said I think the biggest attraction Minnesota has is the Mall of America.
you're probably or the Vikings.
That's debatable.
They're not doing too hot this year, huh? Lost
Not
in playoffs
anymore.
again. Ooh, tough.
What else
I
is
want-
new? What
yeah,
else
right.
is new?
Yeah, drink to that. No,
This team drink makes me drink, you know.
one of my buddies was mentioning that like, you know, he thought that like things should be updated more, like, you know, like infrastructure and all that stuff. I guess most people can probably agree with that. But we've almost been blessed in the aspect that we haven't over updated stuff yet. because the modern buildings, like buildings built from like late 90s to now, have pretty much all looked horrible. Like that county hall that we built in our town, trash. Worst looking county hall ever. And then the cathedral stands over it in the background, and it looks amazing.
You see La Crescent's County Hall?
Okay, but I'm saying for the money that we have here,
like, I don't know.
and you know, like this is a good example of that too. Like the mayor's house. The mayor's house looks awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's like kind of not modern. You kind of have like that old, like, I don't know.
That's half of a small town though. Like,
and that's
and
what
then
it
you
is.
got the north side, and it's just all the rich folks.
All the modern stuff,
modern
all the
houses
modern
and-
stuff like doesn't look as cool as like the older stuff on like the other side of town.
But you also need I think you need both.
Okay.
I think you need a little bit of both, because like that upper end scale does add value to your town.
lot.
You know,
a lot of value. Yeah. But even the houses in, you know, in houses, I guess in small towns might be a bad example of this. When you look at like bigger cities, when you look at like Chicago or like Minneapolis or Madison, you have half of the town being like this weird, updated, modern architecture that has no life to it. Like even the colleges that we built recently look awful. Like they look
Well,
bad.
they're all just like townhomes stacked on top of each other, you know?
Yeah,
It's pretty much like,
it's
that's my
suburbia.
neighbor, you know? Like,
Yeah, it's suburbia. They all have the same copy paste house,
Yep.
5 different ways in the same neighborhood.
Yep.
And I think I hate that personally. I think
Me
that
too,
looks
because
awful.
I would get drunk and I'd be like, which one's mine?
Yeah, the double vision hits, and then you're like, okay,
They all look the same.
there's 10 houses that look the same. Yeah, I think I can find one. And then you stumble into your neighbor's house
Then get arrested.
and get arrested. Yeah, like that sucks. It happens to the best of us, unfortunately. Like, you know, I get it, but yeah, I think I have an issue, like, because forced, like, you know, when you like force updating to everything, it like creates the time of art that's happening right then.
But it also creates more problems, I feel like.
Maybe in the long run, it looks, like I said, it looks kind of weird. Like when you look at like the.
Can I do half and half, like half modern, half old? Like, you know, like.
Well, I think that's where
can
America.
I do the solar roof with the brick? You know, like.
I think that's like where America thrives. It's like the older art styles with like just the new
new
integration.
modern, yeah.
With like the modern
touch,
infrastructure. Yeah. And we've almost benefited from like not updating everything.
I'd
at a
want it to
mass
look like
infrastructure
grimy
level.
on the outside and just walk in and just be
It's
all
just
modern. Yeah, just
pristine.
modern. Yeah.
Like a stainless steel couch.
Yeah. Like it looks like a trap house walking in.
Yeah.
You know,
and,
walk
then,
in.
and it's pretty nice inside.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. And yeah, I think
I wouldn't
there's
be mad.
like a mad benefit to that, because you look at places like Europe and they've like regulated like how everything goes. And then like now they're running into issues where like the regulations that they put in 20 years ago are like being held true, but they can't update to like what is now, which is like a better efficacy for solar, wind, whatever it might be. They're like almost too progressive too early, because it's like you can't update now because it's against a lot of update to like certain out plugs or outlet plugs or
That's wild.
USBs or whatever it is. Like you can't even.
They got the old school light bulbs still? They don't got the twist ones? you
Yeah,
know?
I think they have those, but they can't update to the next ones. So it's like, you know, there's like newer ones now that like last forever. They're like the forever bulbs, and you can't use those because they have like
I've been watching
polycarbonates
a
in it.
lot of like dry bar comedy. Which
Okay.
It's a lot of like people that have become sober and like picked up comedy. And this guy
Yeah.
does a bit about smoking meth out of light bulbs and how it got taken away from him with all these new like twist light bulbs because the whole country just decided to switch overnight, you know?
This is America.
It's
man.
hilarious, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I had to quit cold turkey because you all switched the light bulbs on me. I couldn't smoke my meth no more. You know, like,
That's horrible for him.
I was just
actually.
like, well, good for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh man, that's funny. Oh man, yeah, dude. Have you ever done like stand up before?
I haven't done stand up. I've done like karaoke and like solos and like talent shows and stuff like that.
Karaoke, I feel like it's pretty like.
I only do one song at karaoke. Only one.
What's your song?
Tequila.
Better than like Despacito. I was like, oh god, it's probably gonna be something terrible. But no, Tequila. That song goes hard.
And I'll take a shot of tequila for every tequila he says.
That is horrifying. You are dead by minute 4 or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a 6-minute song.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I think yes, you say tequila like 12 times, you know.
That's horrible.
I'm done after that song, you know? Like
yeah, you're like a one and done. You're a one-hit wonder.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Moses Burning Bush style.
And then if I get up after that, you don't understand a single thing I say.
But you know you're having a great time. And that's the
My
important
second song will
part.
probably be like blame it on the alcohol, you know? Like,
Man. Dude, karaoke, super fun.
it is kind of fun.
I'm terrible at it. I switch words on purpose. I like let people know on the mic.
That's
that
why
I'm-
I would do like a Weird Al Yankovic just to throw people off.
Yeah.
Like you think you know the song, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, another
Boom.
one rides the bus, you know?
Yeah. Boom. Gotcha. Like you thought.
It's the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota. you know?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Biggest corn palace in South Dakota. I just imagine that like people probably think that you're serious when you go up to karaoke, like almost inherently.
See, that's why I play it off. Like no one knows what song I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Like I don't advertise I'm going up to do tequila. Like
Yeah, that's good.
like
What
because
a-
everyone's just like, oh, you're gonna do it. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill it too.
Some of
Like,
my favorite songs are like the Eminem songs. And then you like, and then you like rap the end. Because you
just the chorus.
you know some of the words, but not all of them.
Just
so
the
you can't
chorus,
just,
you know?
you can't just be like, I'm gonna read this off and somehow do it faster than them. You can't do it.
Or I like doing It Wasn't Me because I actually know like Shaggy's like
It wasn't
verse.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. If you do songs that you know,
Yeah.
that's a little different. Like Dr. Dre's
And they
The Chronic,
and they
you can
always
rap.
just like
But
hit.
nobody has that in karaoke around here. I don't even think they
I
can
don't
play
know.
rap downtown.
I
It
don't know.
brings a riff raff, and they can't do it.
I love that. It brings the wrong crowd.
It
It
brings
brings,
the wrong
me,
crowd.
but
Yeah.
like, what do you mean?
Now I don't go downtown anymore.
Exactly.
Like there's no.
Or if I do, I sit in my car.
Yeah. Well, it's EDM people, and now it's like
Well,
all
like-
like I don't know.
Gi-
And
Okay, give me a rap bar then.
granted, well, I want like I want like a you know how like they have like the rave in
Mhm.
Milwaukee. I
Mhm.
want something like that here. I think that could do really well here.
We could if the lacrosse center would get on their
If they
shit.
would let us, yeah, if they would let us sell that out, we could sell it out every weekend.
Easy.
I have DJs that could sell it out every single weekend if they let us. Play
I know
there.
a couple DJs as well. Like,
It bothers me. We can get Rusker in there, and 210, and Fossils, and Bramble. Like we just get all of that crew. Like I don't know what they are now, the 608 boys or something, or
Whatever,
Pretty
yeah.
Boys. We just get all of them, and we could probably sell that out every weekend.
it wouldn't
Every
be. It wouldn't be
single
hard.
weekend.
We're a
This is a
col-
shout
we're,
out to them.
we're a college town. It wouldn't be that hard to sell rave
No.
tickets.
And
And I'll be standing outside selling flow sticks.
I
Like,
understand where a lot of bars are like the 18 plus, but I think you got to be 21 plus if we're gonna do that.
you have to.
Yeah, because even like I don't know, there's local places here that have like tried the 18 plus and like just there's too much like underage drinking.
Unless you
It's
do it
such
in
a
like.
liability.
Unless you do it in like the lacrosse center.
When I performed down here, Concord,
Mhm,
they
mhm.
had to sign so many waivers to be like, if anything happens, like underage ticketing, it's all on you guys. And
Damn.
yeah, they were mad. They did not want to host us. And then when we actually like, we sold the place out like pretty hard and we made some good money a couple different times, but it's just like, I don't know. It's insane. And then like when they tried to do Elevate down here, it like didn't really fall through properly. And they were mad about that. So they stopped hosting like altogether.
No.
You know, I think like we'll probably have a couple of people like in the Cavalier occasionally that are like fun.
Prof maybe.
Yeah,
Every
like-
couple of years.
Like, you know, Nico Slim might come into town or
Mhm.
whatever. And now that he has like Young Gravy connections, I feel like he's like bigger.
That was
but
I think our biggest one lately
Was
is
Gravy.
Gravy.
Yeah.
which I didn't really care for. But
Yeah, I've never really been like a huge. I think he's talented.
yeah,
I think he
can't,
deserves all the
can't
fame that
I
he
can't diss him
has.
because I can't do what he does. So
Yeah, I think he deserves all the fame that he has.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's been fun kind of
I
watching.
loved how he signed and like gave out gravy at Quick Trip. I thought it was hilarious.
That's really funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like the day of his show, he was like at one of the Quick Trips, like signing like the little gravy
The
packet.
little gravy
like
packet.
young little gravy,
Young
you know?
Gravy,
Yeah.
man. Young Gravy. Shout out. Yeah, no, I think it's like cool to see his rise, just because like, you know, I guess he's technically local now or whatever. I don't know how big local spans anymore, but he's done a lot of shows here.
Yeah.
But it's like good to see like that, and I feel like we don't see that enough out of here anymore.
We don't see any shows out of here anymore. Like,
Yeah, because even like JR's band, like THC, like, they could probably do pretty well. I think if they
play a lot around here. They play
Yeah.
at like the Popcorn
it's always Popcorn is always where it's at. I think
or there was a couple other ones. I can't remember, but
it's just a shame that none of the bands here ever make it like out. You know, like we just don't. I don't know what it is. Like there must be like a trap in our city where it's just like
it's the algorithm. I
you
think.
play. Yeah, exactly. You play here, and then you might play Winona.
You play here.
You
and
might play Trumpelo, and then you like don't ever go viral per se.
unless you do like a Ashley for the Arts or
Yeah, I forgot Ashley for the Arts. That's a fun festival. It's local.
yeah, and you can just like sign up for this side stage. You know, like
Yeah.
anybody could perform up on side stage. Like I could probably go up there and if it wasn't in Wisconsin and be like, oh, this is how we roll joints. You know.
Yeah,
But-
that'd be awesome.
but-
you could probably do that now. Talent, man. You gotta
They
show it
probably
off.
they probably have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I know they have a problem with me smoking it there. So
I've only done stand up one time, and I absolutely got like crushed by it.
Oh,
Right?
shit.
Like, decimated. The girl before me had like, so it was open mic. So
Like-
you can't do open mic and then come up after an abuse story
and yeah,
and anywhere perform to key. But I had like two good jokes, and I stumbled over one for like 3 minutes, and then I like kind of just like sat down, right?
see, I don't
But
think I could. Okay,
I will say something about it. Technically, I've done a comedy set at some point, so I can say I did that. I can say I went up there and tried.
like
And I think
I don't
there's
think
benefit
I
to
could
that.
do stand up, but I could probably go up there and like roast people,
Ramble.
like or no, just like
Oh,
roast people in the
crowd?
audience. Yeah,
I would love that.
like it'd be so much fun just to be like a Jeff Ross
mm-hmm.
and just sit up there and just roast everybody and not give a fuck.
Yeah, you need a good crowd for that.
Or like an Anthony Jeselnik, like where he's just picking on people in the crowd, not giving a like.
Yeah, you should like try to do that one time.
That may be a pod.
Yeah, I will like film it and we can put it on Facebook. I'm pretty sure there's like old videos
I
of me
get
on
canceled.
Facebook trying to do comedy, dude. There is a photo on Facebook of me where it's like somebody. I was with a crew. I was with a pretty good crew. I think Kato was there. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, shit.
But there's a photo of like somebody took it and it's like reflecting off of like the bar that they took it in front of, and it looks like I don't have any legs. And that photo got a ton of likes. Like that photo like went half viral. And they're like, oh, but it was just a picture. So I think there's probably like a 3 or 4 minute like, you know, video out there. I don't even ever want that to come back. Somebody will find it in like a year or two, I'm
I'll
sure.
clip it. Don't worry.
B tier's on the case. My AI is already editing it.
It'll be suggested for you by the end of the pod.
I hope not. Yeah, if our phones are listening, so probably will. I don't have Facebook, thank God. But yeah,
I
so
do.
I couldn't even get tagged in the video. But I'm sure.
I could, and I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, I'm sure it's somewhere floating around. But it was like I did a Root Note open night, open mic, and it was like I said, god awful, god awful. Because I think when you get up there, you're like, oh yeah, like, you know, I could do 5 minutes, and then it's like, dude, 5 minutes is like kind of it's not a long time once you get
If I-
started.
Like if I write down my jokes, I could
Yeah.
do 5 minutes. Like, and I bring up like my
Yeah.
jokes, like I could do 5 minutes. But,
Yeah.
like,
I think I was trying to tell a joke. I was trying to.
also like
tell
the
a
same
joke.
time, like I have to like feel out the audience with some of my jokes at first, because then it's
Yeah.
just like, how far can I go with this crowd? You know,
Yeah.
like
I I had a couple one-liners. I just don't know if I could not tell my story. I was just like, oh, like I did write down a story that day. I was like, oh, I'm gonna like write down something, so I have something when I go up there. And I was just like thinking back in my notes, and then like, yeah, I just had nothing. When you actually get up there, you're like, ah, man, there's like a whole crowd. There's people. There's lights. There's, you know, it's not even. I don't even know.
You just put the pressure on yourself.
I think stage fright is the right answer, but
for me, it was always like pressure to perform.
Pressure to perform, yeah. Well, and this is like the difference between karaoke, right? You have the words right there, and
But, like-
everybody else is reading
Mhm.
or singing along too. So, like, if you mess up the words,
No one
they-
cares.
No
Yeah,
one cares. And I think and you can sound horrible, and
Mhm.
nobody
No one
actually
cares.
remembers. And like that's something
No, I used to call karaoke scarioke.
until you did it.
Well, just because half the people up there are just trash, and
Yeah.
you don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Like scarioke.
Okay.
Yeah, it scares you away, you know. Like,
Mhm.
and then you get the people that just like rock it, and you just like, oh, I'm not going up after that. Like,
Or you go up there and do like a joke, like go up there, guys. We're ignoring the song today. I wanted to talk to you guys about daily living in
Bob
America.
doesn't have any hands. Knock knock.
Yeah.
Who's there? Not Bob.
Not Bob. He doesn't have any hands. You idiot. Yeah, tell dad jokes and knock knock jokes. It is something though. I think everybody at home, and I guess this is just like a message from B tier. I would like actually put my name on this and endorse it. I think everybody should go out there and like at least try
Try
to do
something
like
new.
yeah, scare yourself. Go do karaoke. Even if you sing like an old person, like I do like really good like old person song impressions.
Shit, take
I
my
will
song. Easiest song ever.
Yeah, tequila.
That's all you have to say.
Tequila, da, 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 da. And you can even do that if you want to. It makes you feel. But I think Brad is really good at like sarcasm, right?
Yeah.
I think you
yeah.
just have to do like the sarcasm thing and just treat it like a joke. And then once you do that like 1-2
Gotta
times,
find the remote.
yeah, gotta find the remote. Gotta find the, you might be able to like actually like turn the sarcasm into like a real thing. And the hardest part is really just getting up there. Once you get up there and you
Yeah.
find a rhythm and you find a zone,
It goes by so quick.
you're not even thinking about it. Yeah.
And then you have to like sit there and like watch time. Like that's the hardest thing for me while I'm up there.
no, before you go up.
Well, no, like while I'm up there, it's like I don't have a timer. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
Yeah.
sitting there like looking at a timer. Like I'm trying to read off my jokes. Like
Yeah.
that would be the hardest thing. It'd be like time management for me. Because you
Yeah.
want to let the audience laugh, but then that's another joke I could have told. You know, like
Well, if it doesn't hit either,
yeah,
how long do you let it marinate?
you don't. You just send another one.
Yeah.
They're not laughing. Send it.
Yeah, it's like second plane. Go.
Too soon. Too soon.
Yo, this is something that I think is like, I kind of wish like Megan and Jeff were here. Might not. Never mind.
Say
Do you
it,
wanna pick
say
a
it,
question?
Say it.
No, pick a question.
You have to say it now.
Pick a question,
All right.
sir. Whenever you're done pouring. Or should I wait? When's the last time you picked one?
Last week.
When did I pick one?
I don't know.
Might have been-
I'll do another one.
Might have
I
been
don't
5 months. Oh no!
I'll do
Like
another.
we're so far ahead.
care. I don't care.
Do you think it's bad that we have content so far ahead or so spaced out? from
No,
where
I
we're
think
doing it?
it's a good thing because then it's like we don't have to do one every week if we're like sick or
Yeah.
have something going on where it's just like, oh,
Before you read that, I was also wondering too. Like, do you think? Do you think if we took? So, oh my gosh, no! This is gonna sound horrible.
say it.
I never want to lose momentum, right?
Okay,
Momentum
yeah,
is the
yeah.
one thing that you always have to keep whenever you're doing content. The way that we've been doing content, we've been doing daily.
Mm-hmm.
There is gonna be a thing coming up. So season 1, right now we're on episode like, I guess April.
Oh, are we doing seasons?
That's what I don't know. So maybe that's the question I gotta ask. Do we do seasons? How long do
And
they
if
last?
so, yeah, how many
Do
episodes
we
per
take
season?
a break between seasons, or do we just start season 2 but with a banger episode? I don't know. I'm worried because we're on episode. I think so. When I say we're on episode now, so like when I say episode, episode like I think 40 and that'll be in April.
We've done
Like
so many.
that'll be on like
I want to say it's more than 40 because I want to
April-
say there's like 30 out right now on YouTube.
God, maybe there's more. I thought I was counting them right.
Just a second, just a second.
So-
I can tell you the exact number.
I don't. Oh man, maybe we are on like
Like,
50.
I want to say we were.
Then I don't think I started Spotify at the same time, so I might not have our early episodes on Spotify. I have to go back and do that. Because I was counting them, and I'm like, oh, I'm like uploading episode 40 today, but that might not be right because that would be April like 12th or April 4th or something like that. I'm worried now. I'm like, we might have too many So, anyways, like, how long would 50 episodes be a season or
We
like
have 40
100?
episodes on YouTube right now.
Okay, so we are way past. Dang. Okay, one a week. We're probably out till. We're probably at 50 then total, right now.
Well, if we're doing what, one a week, dropping one a week.
Sometimes two.
Well, like dropping one
yeah.
a week.
And then we're scheduled out till April like 4th right now.
Yeah,
So we're probably at like 50 episodes, maybe a little bit over.
maybe 60.
Because
yeah.
we do like 12 every 3 months. We're like 3 months ahead.
Yeah.
yeah,
well,
so
do we
we're-
do 100 episodes a season?
That's what I'm kind of thinking now. Now that you put it in perspective like that. I definitely counted my Spotify episodes wrong. I'll have to go back
Well,
and change that.
that,
I'm not
that
worried.
doesn't really matter.
Spotify sucks. Uploading on there is a nightmare. Anybody who's been a creator over there can tell them. And they're trying to improve it. They were trying to add like a shorts clip feature that you can edit directly in Spotify. It's awful, but they're trying, right? They're at least giving it an honest go. But yeah, so I don't know. Do we do like season cuts? Do we do breaks between seasons? Do we do anything like that? I don't want to. Like I said, momentum breaking, but we could do
Well, we
like
could,
a banger like episode.
we could
on
always,
season 2
like-
intros, right? Or season 3 intros, season 5 intros,
Yeah.
whatever we get up.
No, yeah. But yeah, I think we just bring it back with a bang, like a banger episode for episode like 1, and I think we have to leave it on a banger though too.
I know,
Like 100 has to be a
because
banger.
we're past the midway finale. But granted, our Christmas episode was probably midway finale, or midway through.
Well, we're at 40 right now, and Jana's episode is 40.
Oh my God! Never mind then.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know
like-
what our mid episode was. Well, if we do 100,
Yeah, so
our mid
will
episode
be
will probably
50.
be like a Brad Tier Part 3 episode.
It may be.
It might land directly on that, like
That'd
a
be kinda-
low key. So, yeah, if we get like a Brad Tier Part 3 as our like mid season finale,
Send it.
yeah, and then like we just have to like
we have to
pick-
have a banger, yeah.
yeah. So
And I
that
don't care if we have to like skip order to like
To
send
do
out
it.
a banger for
But we do
season
that.
2, 1. Yeah. Like,
yeah. Well, if that's our mid season, we do 100 episodes season 1.
Yeah.
And we do season 2 and then season 3 and then
Mhm.
so we just do 100 episodes per season. That is wild. That is wild. But we're not cranking them out at the same rate that like Rogan would be or anything. So
No, he does what, like,
four
probably
four a
4
week,
day-
I think.
yeah. Well, he probably does multiple in one day.
Does he though?
I wouldn't see why not.
Record them ahead of time
Yeah,
and then just have them
edit
done.
and send them out.
I feel like getting people in, like I feel like you'd want because they go
Well,
out.
yeah,
the day
like with
after.
different guests, but like if you have someone in town that's like, oh,
Yeah.
can you meet me up at later tonight? Let's do one.
Well,
tonight.
anybody would drop everything in their life to go on road. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like,
So it wouldn't even be like a
it's like,
question.
what are you doing?
But since we're doing one a week, man, I wish we could like up output, but I know like with you
we
guys
could,
start,
but then we'd run out of
you guys start
pile
more
up
things. And,
content.
dude, I used to think that, but I really think we can just do anything. Like, I don't think I'm really worried about content. Like, I don't think I'm worried about it, but I guess yeah. Like if you guys are doing different things too, like
But
we
we're
have to
only
do
doing
them
that
one
every
week.
other week.
Oh, okay.
So
All right. Did you guys have anybody else on last night?
no, it's just me and Jeff.
How like what was like first topic? What did you guys talk about?
It was basically like just like basic fishing stories, like, oh, when did you get started? What's the weirdest thing you've caught? Any fishing injuries, like stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
war stories,
Wars. Yeah. Yeah. It's always fun, I guess, going back in time and
Oh,
just,
yeah.
like, thinking the first time. I don't know. I think a B tier episode first looked like that too. Me and Kato were talking about like the biggest regret of our life or something like that. It starts out like that, you know, then it evolves into something different. And then you're on the upward spiral, dude.
The first thing I remember from your first couple episodes is you falling off the swing and hitting your nuts and breaking your arm, you know.
That clip is the funniest, man.
That's the first thing I remember like watching.
That's so funny. Yeah. Dude, I don't know what, like, I was even thinking about that today. I'm like, why did we only do like 3 episodes of Kato or whatever? I don't even know what happened there.
He got a dog.
Yeah. What's this question?
Does hardship actually make people stronger or just emotionless?
That's a good question. I think becoming emotionless is part of being hardened. And by that, I mean, like, the more hardship that you go through, or like the more turmoil in your life, the more trauma that you go through as a child, the more just like general antics of life getting thrown at you, you're more able to handle your emotions in the moment of that happening, because you know you've been through worse, or you know you can get through things. Does that come with age? Does that come with just more turmoil? I would say things generally get easier when you get older, so I think your brain can handle emotion better. Well, I think when you like turn, I mean, at least from what I've noticed in my 20s, I think I can handle emotion a lot better from when I'm like early 20s to 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I think you can just handle it better because your frontal lobe is not like tripping out about everything. Your cortisol levels are kind of regulated and all that. I figure there's a lot of science that I don't know anything about in there.
Well, like I think about when I'm like 16, like that emotion, like, and I'm like so much more just like, you're not going to phase me with that, where you pop off one thing when I'm 16 and I'm swinging, like just automatic swinging.
Yeah, not even thinking about it.
And now it's just like, oh, it's going to take me a while, but
yeah,
eventually we'll still get there if you keep pushing. Like,
you'd be dumb to keep pushing. A grown man pushing? I don't know, man.
Like, yeah, you keep pushing.
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out, you know?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think there's like there's a mix of both, but I think a lot of it does come from like just being older. I think like and I think it's just because you can handle those like cortisol levels better because you're not just instantly reacting to everything. And it's like, you know, whether you've been through a lot or not, I think people who have been through more can handle emotion a lot better.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But I've seen where trauma comes out in so many different ways, where it's like, you know, somebody who's been through a lot might not be able to handle a lot. And it's because they've been through so much that one more might be like the nail in the coffin. And it might
needle
in the haystack that they're looking for. And it might just be that like last bullet, you know, or whatever, because they've been through so much.
The straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that it's not like mutually exclusive things. But I think like generally getting older makes you less emotional, and that can help you with turmoil. Hardship.
I also feel like it also depends on situation, because obviously like a death or something is going to hit you way harder than just like everyday life. Like, oh, my boss said something to me that pissed me off, you know, like, right. Or my boss yelled at me. Like, I'm going to take that death way more like with a grain of salt than I'm just going to shrug off whatever the fuck my boss just said, because it's just like, whatever. Like, you're going to have to do a lot harder than that to get a reaction out of me. And I think for me, like, after I got sober, I kind of like grew up, like, necessarily. So it's like I came into like a different mind state, and I view things different now. And with the job that we're in, I can't really get mad at anything.
No.
Like
different
so
type
like
of job.
even a kid breaking my thumb like just happened, I couldn't get mad. Like I couldn't even do anything.
Yeah.
So it's just like I couldn't swear because the kid's sitting right there, you know, like.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yell at a child? Like,
and I'm not gonna.
Child doesn't even know.
I'm not gonna start crying, because then the child's gonna know that they did something.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I'm not gonna show weakness like that, because if if they see weakness like some of the students that we work with,
Mhm.
if they see weakness like that, they're gonna target that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna keep pushing.
Yeah. No, exactly. So yeah, that's our job. Our job is like when you come to like learning patience.
We're
and learning-
insane. Yeah.
Yeah, we're fucking crazy. Can't even describe it.
For
But-
no hazard pay, no nothing. you
no,
know?
nothing.
Yeah.
You don't need any of that. Why would you need any of that?
I think we need that. But
Well, you had mentioned something too. So, like, when you said, like, when you became sober, you like kind of,
well, when I was on drugs, it was just fuck everything else. You know, like
yeah.
you go ahead, tell me something. I'm not even listening.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm strung out. Like I'm high. Like I don't even think I just heard you. You know, like.
Yeah.
And now sober, it's just like when I first became sober, like everything was irritating. Just
Oh, I'm
because
sure.
like I'm so used to doing it this way. It's just like, oh, you say something like, hey, even good morning. It's like, what's so fucking good about it? You know,
Yeah, I'm tired.
like leave me the fuck alone. Like, why are you talking to me this early in the morning?
Yeah.
Where in like rehab, we had to do like a muster or a line call every morning just to make sure that we were still in the building.
Yeah.
Because there were some of us that like to sneak out at night, but
Yeah. I mean,
that's here nor there.
get
But
the cigarette in you,
well, we couldn't even have those there.
get some tail, go home. Yeah.
We couldn't even have cigarettes there. We couldn't have any nicotine products besides like unless you were prescribed from the doctor, like the nicotine patch.
Wow.
Yeah, like we couldn't chew, we couldn't smoke, couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
We found ways around that, but
Yeah. Yeah.
well, because if
you'd have to.
well, if you have the
yeah.
patch, we got cans of chew in
There's
there.
degrees of sobriety. Everybody who's ever been through
we got
anything like
packs
that.
of cigarettes in there. We smoked in there. Like
Yeah.
the funniest thing that happened in there though is one night there were like 4 skunks outside and they sprayed the building. So the whole place just reeked of. It smelled like weed. So all of us are like sitting in like class because they have classes every day,
Yeah.
and we're all just sitting there like, what the fuck is that? Like, who the fuck is that? Like, we need to find out right now because I want some of that. Like,
I need that guy.
they full up like, it's pretty much like a jail. They like shut us down in class, flip all of our rooms, like checking everywhere, just to find out that it's like skunks outside. And we're all just like dying after they tell us all this. Like, oh yeah, none of, like they even made us all like piss in a cup. Like they tested us. Like if anybody
Yeah.
comes back dirty, we automatically know.
You're
Like,
real mad about it.
like yeah, but then like none of us came back dirty, and we're all just like, so what the fuck? Like, and they're just like, oh yeah, it was skunks outside, and we all just like died, and we gave
Yeah.
them for like the next month. It's like,
Oh, you'd have to.
hey, you got any more of that skunk?
That wild ganj, man. That's strange. Yeah, yeah,
And then all the counselors would just be like, because they know exactly what we're talking about.
yeah. They smelled it too.
Like, right. They're all blaming every one of us. And it's just like,
That'll like stick for weeks too.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Do you think this is kind of this is something that I've witnessed.
Mhm.
It's not something that I can like put a tangible thought onto, or I can't like. There's not like a scientific study behind it, or whatever. I
I'm
don't
sure
think it
there
ma-
is, but
Oh, I'm gonna say yes, there is. But do you think drugs like emotionally stunted you to like a degree where it's like you almost couldn't grow up when you were using, and like when you were like versus
I don't
not
think it
using? Do you think
stunted
anything
me.
like
I
that?
just think it made me not really care what other people thought. And I didn't want to,
Okay.
I was following my own agenda at that point. So it was like, you're going to tell me one thing, it's going to be like, fuck you, I'm going this way. Like,
Yeah.
there were a lot of people that were just like, oh, you should get clean. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
pass.
Yeah.
It's like the whole Drake meme. It's like, pass. And then it's like, hey.
Yeah.
Like, dude hits
Yeah,
me
yeah.
up like, hey, you want to hail? Yeah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but like, I just think it was just like a different mind state. Like,
Okay. All right. Because yeah, I've like talked to a lot of people about like just random drug use, and I think it does like to some
I feel like it all
degree,
depends on
like,
what you're using too.
that might be huge. That might be the huge change. I've witnessed it most with just people who like use weed daily. But
What do you mean by that?
like I think people who like smoke all the time every single day and
Mhm.
have since high school, I don't think they've ever really gotten out of that mindset. And I'm not saying I'm not dissing weed.
No,
I mean, you guys like everybody smokes in front of me. I don't care. I don't care at all. But I think it like almost delays your. Man, I don't want to say because that sounds dumb, but I just know that like people who, I just know that people who like actually sober up and like they might use stimulants still because I think stimulants accelerate things, and I think that's like a whole different thing. Like you said, the drug that you take is different.
Yeah, most people at least still smoke cigarettes or have something.
Yeah,
like
people who are even like semi coke users, and I know it sounds dumb, but like people who will only do it like once every couple months, whatever. But they,
that was me. That was me for coke, but like that always was just like at the bar.
Yeah,
like,
and like
the opportunity presented itself.
I don't really factor alcohol into this either. I think it's a depressant, yes, but I don't know if it necessarily hinders emotional growth.
But if I get drunk enough, I'm gonna do whatever.
Yes.
It hinders that state.
But
you know
for
what I
like
mean?
only a temporary time. I don't know if it's like like an emotional, like it's not gonna affect you. Well, it'll affect you for the next week or two, but I don't think it'll affect you for the next like
that's what
year.
I find different with weed and alcohol. Like alcohol, I could drink one night and be like, wake up the next morning and be like, damn, I shouldn't have drank that last night.
Yeah.
Where I smoke a joint the night before, I don't ever wake up going, damn, I shouldn't have smoked that last night. Ever. Like
maybe though. I mean
maybe if my like throat's sore or something from like a blunt or something.
I definitely had like brain fog in the morning though. Like that I think that's very real.
That's what caffeine's for.
And yeah, that's what the stimulants are for.
Yeah,
like
that's what the nootropics are for. Like
exactly.
Automatically
I'm
gone.
not dissing any of that. Like you can. Because if you time your drugs out properly, like you can
beautiful.
You can actually do it like it's weird because
all in moderation. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, like some people do like the microdosing, the LSD and stuff.
I smoke every day, but it's not like
I do
all day every day.
Yeah,
it's like maybe right before bed or after work I'll smoke a pipe.
Yeah,
but one pipe after work could last me all the way until I go to sleep.
Yeah, well, so even like. You said you were like taking heroin. You just said you did. You don't really like, or I guess before you went to rehab, you were just like, I don't really care what people think.
I don't care. Yeah, I didn't care.
And honestly, I don't.
Nobody actually knew I was shooting up heroin either because I'd shoot it up like behind my knees or in my toes.
Don't give anybody any ideas at home.
I'm just saying.
I know we've talked about it.
I'm just saying, like I wouldn't do it in my hands or like in my arms, so where it's noticeable. Yeah, it's not noticeable.
Dude, I saw a photo on Twitter the other day where somebody was like, they were drawing like a cartoon and it had track marks on it, and like everybody was like, huh. Like that's not like a normal thing to draw as a cartoon artist. What are you doing? And yeah, no, it's just like, that stuff projects obviously in the art, but no, it's like and I don't know if I put heroin and coke even into the same category as weed when it comes to like emotional growth. I don't know where that, like, there's somebody working on a study, I'm sure, but I do think it, like, because people who come back and like maybe quit smoking weed every day, I feel like they're like a little bit more emotionally developed. I don't know if that's the word I'm going to use as the word I'm going to use, but yeah, I just feel like they're like, less aloof per se.
What about people that use like X or mushrooms? How, like, that isn't really like a setback. That's more like opening up your mind. You know what I mean? Like
moderation, though.
Well, right. Obviously, like everything we're talking about is in moderation.
Everything's in moderation.
Like
everything is in moderation,
except weed, because I don't think you can't smoke that much weed to overdose.
I mean, but not overdosing doesn't necessarily mean that you're not overdosing.
No, yeah. You can smoke yourself sober.
Yeah. You can definitely get too high. Like that's definitely like a thing on weed.
Is it?
I mean,
I don't think I've ever experienced that.
I think when you talk to people who maybe don't smoke that much, they're like, oh, like I accidentally took too much edibles and then had a panic attack and then now I don't want to smoke anymore. Talk to Rick about it. Rick had like one of those edible experiences. Now he never wants to touch weed again. Maya from one of our classrooms, she like doesn't want to like touch that anymore either because she had like a seizure on on edibles.
Oh.
So I think it happens maybe with edibles,
but she
maybe
still
with edibles.
smokes. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like
It's like the type of
that's what I don't.
ingestion,
That's
it's
what
all different
like
highs,
that's what I don't
it's
get.
all
Like
unregulated,
it's all the
nobody
same
knows.
thing. Like
Yeah, because I think like weed edibles, like I've done some potent brownies in my past.
I've made
like,
some potent brownies.
Trips that I don't think I've ever come back from. Where it's just like
my favorite is like
mind opening. Like I
love
changed.
throwing some mushrooms into my pop brownies. So then you get like the like
Both?
stoned.
Yeah,
and then
and the moving.
yes,
and like the textile.
yes,
like moving
yes,
and,
just pixelated.
yeah.
It's just great.
Dragon's Garden.
And I don't
fridge.
tell anybody. Like no warning, no just here's a brownie.
That's just mean at that point.
Here's a brownie.
Like moderation, man. Don't worry, it's a moderated
But
brownie.
it's just like
yeah.
I'll tell you to eat like a fourth of it at a time. Like
Yeah, but
I'm
then
not just gonna be like
you know they don't listen. That's the
nobody
problem.
listens to you saying eat a fourth of a brownie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because most of the time they'll get too high and get the munchies and be like, oh look, a brownie.
Yeah. Oh, a brownie.
Hmm.
Oh, piece of candy.
Yeah, gummy bear. Mm.
But yeah, no. So that's kind of my take. I think a lot of people like almost I think they like slow their emotional development with like drugs in general. It might not be specifically weed,
No, yeah.
but I think a lot of people who like come back and just be completely sober from weed, but might still do their caffeine, tobacco,
yeah.
creatine, whatever, nootropics, whatever they're doing. I think they're like, not that they're like more ahead in life, because that's like a dumb
Mm-hmm.
success statement that doesn't make any sense to anybody else. But I think they're like more emotionally available in like all their life. If that makes any sense.
But I'm not gonna be like reckless like Lil Wayne and just go drink a bunch of like cough syrup and fuck up the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like
Lean is a hell of a drug.
like right, like
And yeah, that might be a different case study entirely.
Like-
Like some of those depressants, those benzos, those Xanax,
Right.
man, those Xannies.
oh shit, fat.
Fent. Well, yeah. I mean, you even bring that up. It's like, I don't know how much we can talk about it anymore, but it's just,
Well, I don't see why we can't talk about it. It's like we're not suggesting everybody go out and use.
yeah. But when you get introduced to those, like,
I'm so
People-
glad I did
people
drugs.
literally,
I'm so
like-
glad I did drugs before this shit came out.
that's kind of the blessing in disguise for me too, because they've been even putting it in like Coke and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, I can't. I mean, imagine not having
They've been putting it on weed.
that. Is well, because what was it? The popcorn smell.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the popcorn smell, you're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure my roommates had laced weed before in the past. Because I was like, oh, hey, it's burnt popcorn. That's not it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you can't. Yeah. I mean, how are you supposed to like get around it, you know? And it's really
A
comes.
test kit.
Yeah, I know.
But-
and testing everything, that's not.
That's where you just find a source that you trust.
Well, when you find out your source that you trust is also not really testing it either.
Then I
and
go in
that's-
guns blazing because you try
Yeah.
to kill me, I'm gonna try to kill
Inadvertently.
you. You know, like
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you did it inadvertently or on purpose.
I would figure most people are in good faith, man. They just don't have time to test it and they just put it out. Like,
every batch I get,
I
I'll,
test
I'll,
first.
I'll take out a bud and
Yeah.
I'll test.
I test first, and that's kind of like I, you know. And that said, I mean, you could be like the drug dealer and you could die off your fent, but at least you're dying. Nobody else is.
Yeah, like I'm not promoting that.
Yeah,
like,
and that's kind of like the barrier of entry per se.
It's
It's the
kinda-
risk that you take. It's the risk that you assume.
let's just go
Yeah.
back to the old baking soda cut. You know, like
Regular cuts, please. I can't even do cocaine in this country anymore. It's not a proper country anymore. Yeah.
like I don't even think I'd want to do coke anymore.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not really looking for it anymore. It's like one of those things that's like, I think I'm kind of gonna wait until I'm like maybe 70 years old, and then I'll probably
Yeah,
start
one
doing,
last ride.
I'll probably start doing like every drug in the book, you know? It'll be like, oh, I'm
It'd be
gonna
like
be
Tony
dead.
Montana. There's a mound on the table.
Yeah, like I might need that mentally at that age. I don't know.
I hope we're hanging out together.
If
at
we're
that
doing-
age.
if we're
we're
in-
doing a pod,
if we're in the Alzheimer's camp doing a pod with coke in us, like dude,
not remembering a damn
might
thing.
be one of the best pods ever. I don't know. Like, you know?
We'll buy the retirement home at that point.
Yeah, B tier retiring. We'd like sponsor it. Yeah, no. So that's all I'm gonna say. Like, you know, when I get older, when I'm like know that I'm kind of like
Where the
dying,
rules don't matter, you know. We're just
Yeah.
here to have fun.
They don't. I don't know, they don't at a certain point. I'm sure. Like that's why none of these like old people go to jail. You know what I mean?
Well, what are, they,
Commit crimes against humanity, you get pardoned nowadays.
Well,
You're fine.
what are they gonna do? Lock you up for life?
Yeah. And, oh,
2
5
weeks.
years.
2 weeks later, I'm dead.
I
You
can
know.
speed run it at that point if I really need to. I'll be dead
Like
in a
maybe
week.
when I'm 80, that's when I go on create a mass murder. You know, like what are you gonna do?
That's crazy behavior, though. Killing other
I'm
people
not saying
on the
I
way
will,
out.
but like
That's pulling the ladder on the way up. You know what I mean? Like
no way out.
Yeah. You're killing people, dude. That's wild. That's wild.
I don't know if it's
That's
on
insane.
purpose. I could have had a heart attack behind the wheel or something. You know, like
Yeah, accidentally driving into a crowd. Like, what are you gonna do?
you know, all right.
Not driving into the crowd, I'm having a heart attack. And when you rationalize it,
Well,
logic.
we may have self-driving
it.
cars by then, so.
Well, yeah. We had to go in the manual override. It's like 10 prompts. Didn't mean to do it, officer.
Blink twice. I can't.
I
Like,
actually physically can't. I'm 90 years old. I don't even have eyes.
cool. Me, no, I'm probably stoned, so it's like they're already closed.
We were talking to Ryan about like the whole how like sports cars are gonna have like insurance and like how all the EVs have or all the self-driving cars have like sports car insurance on it, and that's why I don't want to buy an EV now. I'm like, if I have to pay, dude, I'm really cheap. I know I am. I do splurge in some areas of my life, and like, you know, I love that. I love just splurging in like the small areas where they don't really like you don't really see it.
The ATF does, but
Mom, they have everybody on radar at this point. Like the FBI's like, oh yeah, that guy's done this before. And it's like they don't stop you anyway. I know that. Like they probably hand you the gun. They might hand you.
they show up and like here.
I might get like an envelope in the mail, and it might just have like a note where it says like, "Hey, you should write a manifesto." And then I'll know. Like I'll be like, oh, "Okay, I have to go shoot up the school." This is all gonna get canceled, huh? Edit.
Just edit out.
Yeah.
Pick our school. I
But
mean,
yeah. So you know, like, no, I don't even know where I was gonna go. I have no idea where I was gonna go. Oh yeah. So I don't really like splurge on a lot of points in my life, right? So like the points that I do, I kind of go hard, but like everything else, I kind of don't. And that's why I haven't really bought a car yet.
Mm.
So like I remember I was telling you the other night.
yeah,
I'm
you're
like, oh,
looking.
yeah,
You're
like,
looking. Yeah.
you know, I'm like, oh, okay, but then I like find a car that I might like, and then I'm like, do I really have to spend $50K for it? No, probably not. Okay. And then, you know, I just don't want to show up on like, it's unfortunate, but like when you start buying things and then offsetting your income with things, like 99% of audits come from like, it's usually like the middle class like business person who is just writing everything off on taxes.
That's why I don't write anything off on.
Well, yeah, but that's like a different. So, I have to. Unfortunately, it's like I have to write a
You
lot
have
of
to.
stuff
Yeah.
off. So like, when I like offset income, I don't want there to be a year where I'm like, oh, I had 40K in like, you know, taxes, but then I had like 40K income offset. And it's like people are really dumb and they do that. People are really stupid and they do that shit. I'm not a tax accountant by any means. So anybody taking financial advice from B tier, you should probably not do that. But
In moderation.
everything in moderation. One thing my mom told me: everything in moderation. Even Coke, just do a little bit.
Just a little bit.
One sniff, you can't do more. Good luck. No, so like everything has kind of come down to that though, where it's like they audit everybody who's in like these tax brackets, you know, who are
Mhm.
like, oh, like I'm gonna offset my entire cost. I bought a boat this year. I
Yeah,
bought a
yeah.
car this year. I bought a house this year. I'm gonna offset it all into income, and those people are dumb, but they get caught and then they get audited and then they get 5 years back and then everything happens, right? And you know, like I know people who have been audited just because they don't file that they have health insurance. It's like the poorest people ever. People making like 30K a year,
People
they'll
like
get-
me. Okay.
they'll get audited because they didn't put their health insurance claims on their taxes. You know, or they didn't have health insurance for a year, so they red flagged immediately.
I've been red flagged a lot.
And I'm sure I have too. Like I'm not saying I haven't, but you kind of just get luck
Well,
of the
working
draw.
in a
and-
kitchen for 17 years, I never had health insurance.
Yeah,
I'm
Right.
pretty sure I got flagged every year,
yeah, you're just lucky. I mean, I guess like if you
but I
don't-
never like wrote anything off.
Well,
you know, like
exactly. So it's like you have to balance that out. It's all in moderation, but it's like you have to balance out everything in your life like that. And yeah, that's why I like haven't splurged on the car. I haven't like gone and bought a bunch of things that I know I could probably afford,
Mhm.
but it's like I can't offset everything. I can't. I cannot just have like 140K in land over here in Minnesota because I want to like write it off on my taxes this year as an income
no, yeah.
offset. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And the other aspect to that, like when you run a company and you have people who are like unpaid employees below you, they think offsetting can offset everything. And it's like, well, you still have out of pocket expense for
Mhm.
every single tax write off. So that's another issue that I'm dealing with on my other side where I'm
Right.
like, okay, dude, I can't just like buy a golf course. But like,
I mean,
yes,
you could, but
but to offset the expenses on the golf course is near impossible. It's all out of pocket.
no,
it's
your
all gonna
$1
be a
million year
loss.
covered that.
Yeah, totally. But I got a buddy telling me right now, DJ,
Mhm,
you met him.
mhm, mhm.
He was like, dude, you should buy a golf course. For what? Like, what are we gonna do with a golf course?
Buy a gun range.
That's what I told him. I was like, dude, if I'm gonna buy anything, it's gonna be a gun. Well, and then you start looking at that, the insurance on the gun range, near impossible to hold.
No,
You
I'm
have to-
sure. I'm sure.
There's so many different like red tape measures that you just have to like break through
Jump through all these hoops.
just to get insurance on your land. And then when you do that, you still have to build the course. You still have to build everything in the
Black market gun range.
in the black market black market paintball. That would be where like everybody in our group would want. Everybody wants to do paintballing and airsoft, and they just want a free range to do it. Everybody wants that, dude. I can't tell you a single person who does not want that in my friend group. They just want to be able to paintball without insurance. Okay, is it that hard to ask?
All we need is land at that point.
I know.
That's all we need.
I know. But like I said, it's hard to offset all of that with my other expenses. We'll get there.
Oh,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, do I want it around here? Probably. That's the thing. How far north do I want to go? How far south do I want to go? I don't know. I wish, so Jeff has like his friend and his dad owns like a farm down in Iowa.
Mhm.
He's probably mentioned him before.
Mhm.
But I want to go down there, see what kind of land they're working with down there, and then maybe we get like a plot down there. Like we ask him for like a
Close
land
enough.
lease or like
Yeah.
a plot of his already owned land,
Mm.
because then we could like just kind of integrate. Like we could probably keep the monthly payment down on it, where it's just like it's easy to manage, have, hold. We don't have to use it all the time, but like we'd have a spot 3 hours away from here. We can go deer hunting,
Mhm.
and we could use the rest of the land too. But we like have a stake in some part of the pie that he has. So I don't know.
And then when he
It'll always be something.
decides, or whenever if they decide to sell,
And
we,
we're like
we
a-
already have first dibs since we own
Yes.
a quarter or
We could
whatever.
potentially be like the first, because you have your in already. You're
Mhm.
like, oh, he makes monthly payments. Oh, he
Mhm.
does this
Well,
already.
do you want the rest of it? You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, we get like first stake. So that would be like an option. But then moving to Iowa, relocate. I don't like that. I don't like the idea. I don't like Iowa.
Iowa. Yeah. That's the worst part about it.
Iowa. Too flat. You can't even shoot shotguns. Or no, you can.
You can shoot shotguns.
You can't shoot rifles.
Can't shoot rifles. Like
Insane
Minnesota.
behavior.
Yeah.
Insane behavior.
In Minnesota, I got all these bluffs, but I still can't shoot a fucking rifle.
Yeah, I don't know what's. That's a different thing going on over there. I don't even want to get into hunting right now. But
I blame the weed.
yeah, you can't have two nice things. Okay, you can't do it. You can't. Okay, there's balance, right? So we've talked about you can't commit.
They
to,
wrote it off on their taxes.
Yeah, you can't not commit.
We'll give them weed, but not rifles.
Okay, so think about it like this: you can't not commit two crimes at once. You can't not have two nice things at one time. The same. It's like a, look at it like a yin and yang thing. Like, I get it. There's a little splash of
I
bad
give you
and
this,
good.
I take this.
Yeah, you can't have both. You as a free citizen of
I can't
America,
smoke my weed and have my money too? What?
You can't smoke your weed and shoot guns at the same time. Somehow that's illegal. But
I feel like the whole war on drugs took a step back after the movie Blow. It's like I'm crossing an imaginary line.
yeah.
Like no one can tell me exactly where this line is. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
I'm flying over it, no one can be like, oh, we're crossing into Montana right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
no one knows. Like
Yeah.
I feel like after that movie, and it's just like how like our country is like became like legalizing weed or legalizing other drugs like out in Portland or
Yeah.
like the medical treatments with mushrooms or marijuana
Ibogaine is a big
or
one.
yes.
Yeah.
But like I feel like after
Ecstasy
that
even
after that
too,
movie,
using it-
yeah.
Using MDMA as like a remedy treatment. Yeah. For like PTSD.
Yep.
All that stuff is like kind of and Ross is like a huge break in that. And it's weird coming from the morally bigoted side, right? Like it's odd.
Coming from Big Pharma, like yeah.
It's
like,
odd. It's odd. It's something that I just didn't think would be kind of in like the regular human psyche. Like, you don't really like you don't really expect people to evolve. And like that's one of those things that's like the war on drugs might be kind of declared over in that regard where it's like, and if you get common sense reform for that, which I'm gonna say this very, very lightly because common sense gun reform doesn't work, but guns are different than drugs in the aspect of if you deschedule them and like make them not on the same regard, I guess, as like, hey, if you possess it, it's a crime, right? So taking it off of Schedule 1, taking it off of like these kind of like harder restrictions, you do. And it's funny because like the war on drugs is like the inverse of the war on guns.
Yeah.
So like everybody who's like talking in both of those circles is like, oh my god, what the heck is, what are we actually talking about here? But everybody in like the gun circles doesn't want Hunter Biden to go to jail for having gun possession and drug possession in the same charge. But you can't say that on both sides right now. But anybody who's like just normally in the middle, like they're like, okay, I see both regards, and like let's just.
But
make
if they
it
come at me,
happen.
I'm gonna get charged with both. So why shouldn't he? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but I don't want him to get charged, so I'm like, maybe they won't come. Well, they will. That's the problem. 2-tier justice system. I'm all B tier. Oh man, I'm gonna go off. The roads, man. I'm starting the roads. The ice on the roads right now. Are you kidding me? They're insulting out there. Yeah. Oh man, Phil, is there any last remarks? Anything that you think you missed throughout the pod? Anything that I said that you disagree with? Anything that the white mic needs to be spoken
I
on
don't
right
think
now?
so. I think it's thanks for watching.
Ooh. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell down below, and if you haven't already, go ahead and like us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, if you can have that app still, YouTube, and everywhere else. You guys have a good rest of your night. Peace out.
Peace.
Happy Friday.